She texted me late in the evening, the glow of my phone lighting up the dark room. Her message was short, simple, and yet heavy with meaning. Asterisk, I think we should break up. Asterisk, for months I had sensed her growing distance. The cold replies, the excuses, and the way she seemed to be more present online than with me. Still, seeing those words written out, final and cold, gave me a strange feeling, not pain, not sadness, but a release I didn't expect. Without hesitation, I typed back, asterisk, I agree. Asterisk. I imagined her face when she read my reply. She probably expected me to beg, to ask her why, or to plead for one more chance. That had been her pattern, to hold all the power, to keep me dangling, always afraid of losing her. But this time, I refused to play her game. My response was short, almost casual. And in those 2 words, I felt a rush of freedom I hadn't felt in years. A few minutes later, my phone buzzed again. This time, she didn't seem as sure of herself. Asterisk, wait, that's it? You're just agreeing. Asterisk, I stared at the screen, amused. 4 months, she had been distant, cold, and disrespectful, yet now, when I didn't fight for her, she suddenly seemed confused. It told me everything I needed to know. I put the phone down and thought about the last 2 years we had spent together. The endless late nights waiting for her to come home. The excuses about being too busy to call. The way she brushed off my concerns as if I were paranoid. Deep down, I had known she had lost interest, maybe even found someone else. But I had stayed, thinking love meant holding on, even when it hurt. Now, with her text, I realized love also meant knowing when to let go. I had given her all I could, and it wasn't enough. And that was okay. I deserved someone who saw my worth. Not someone who tested how much pain I could take before I broke. My agreement wasn't weakness. It was strength. Another text came through. Asterisk, I didn't mean it like that. I just thought maybe you'd try to fix things. Asterisk, I almost laughed. For so long, she had ignored every effort I made to fix things. She dismissed my questions, rolled her eyes at my worries, and treated my love like it was disposable. Now she wanted me to fight, not because she cared, but because she wanted to feel desired. I decided not to reply immediately. Instead, I let her sit with her own words. I poured myself a drink, sat on the balcony, and thought about the future. For the first time in months, I felt light, like a weight had been lifted. No more waiting, no more begging, no more pretending everything was fine. Finally, I wrote back, asterisk, you wanted a breakup, and I agreed. That's it. Let's not drag this out. Asterisk, I pressed send and put my phone down again. It vibrated several times afterward, but I didn't check right away. I didn't need to. I knew exactly what those messages would say: regret, confusion, maybe even anger. But none of it mattered anymore. The truth was, she had already left me long before sending that text. Her heart had checked out months ago, and I had been holding on to the shadow of a relationship that no longer existed. By agreeing to her words, I was only making official what had been true all along. When I finally looked at my phone again, her last message read, asterisk, you really don't care, do you? Asterisk, I smiled to myself. I did care, just not about her games anymore. I cared about my peace, my dignity, and my future. I cared enough about myself to walk away without begging for scraps of affection. That night, I slept better than I had in months. No late-night arguments, no waiting for replies that never came, no overthinking. Just silence, calm, and the comforting thought that I was free. In the morning, I blocked her number, deleted the old conversations, and made coffee with a strange sense of victory. She thought she could break me by leaving, but in the end, I had surprised her by being stronger than she expected. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't anger, or even moving on quickly. It's showing the other person that they never had as much control over you as they thought. And when she sent the text saying she wanted to break up, my simple reply, asterisk, I agree, asterisk, was the moment I finally took that control back. Weeks later, she showed up at my doorstep, her eyes red and her voice trembling. She said she had made a mistake, that she missed me, that no one else treated her the way I did. For a moment, I simply stood there, letting her words hang in the air. A few months ago, I would have given anything to hear those lines. But now, they meant nothing. I smiled politely and said, "You were right the first time. We weren't meant to be." Then I closed the door, leaving her stunned in silence. Inside, my heart felt lighter than ever. She thought breaking me would give her power, but in the end, my calm "I agree" and my final refusal to take. Her back showed her the truth. I was stronger without her. And sometimes, the sweetest revenge isn't winning someone back, it's proving you never needed them in the first place.